Krishna dear devotees, my humble obeisances to you all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining His Holiness Chandramouli Swami Maharaja's daily class. Today we are continuing with our Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter number 7 and verse number 37. And today we are very happy to have HG Sridevi Mataji to enlighten us on this topic. Hare Krishna Mataji, my humble obeisances to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji. You can please take over. I'll share my screen again.
Thank you, Srimati. Dear Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our beloved Guru Maharaj. All glories to the assembled Vaishnavas. Vanja kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to serve you all. I'm humbled by how much mercy Guru Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas are giving me. I pray for your blessings so that I can do this service very nicely and please you. And I pray for your continued blessings and mercy so that I continue to serve all of you nicely. So we are, as Srimati said, on verse 37 of the 7th chapter of the second canto, Scheduled Incarnations. Is talking about the various different incarnations of the Lord and how in every incarnation he simply comes to do two things. Annihilate the demons and protect the devotees and restore religious principles. So many incarnations come with specific purposes, and we're going to read in this one about the Lord Buddha incarnation. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Praeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. देवद्विषां निगमवत्मनि निष्ठितानां पूर्भिर्मयेन वीताभिरदृश्यतुर्भिः लोकान् गताम् अतिविमोहम् अतिप्रलोभं वेषं विधाय बहु भाष्यत औपधर्म्यम्. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. When the atheist, after being well versed in the Vedic scientific knowledge, annihilate the inhabitants of different planets, flying unseen in the sky on well-built rockets prepared by the great scientist Maya, the Lord will bewilder their minds by dressing himself attractively as Buddha and will preach on sub-religious principles. Purport. This incarnation of Lord Buddha is not the same Buddha incarnation we have in the present history of mankind. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the Buddha incarnation mentioned in this verse appeared in a different Kali Yuga, Kali age. The duration of life of one Manu, there are more than 72 Kali Yugas, and in one of them, the particular type of Buddha mentioned here would appear. Lord Buddha incarnates at a time when the people are most materialistic and preaches common sense religious principles. Such ahimsa is not a religious principle in itself, but it is an important quality for persons who are actually religious. It is a common sense religion because one is advised to do no harm to any other animal or living being, because such harmful actions are equally harmful to he who does the harm. But before learning these principles of non-violence, one has to learn two other principles, namely to be humble and to be prideless. Unless one is humble and prideless, one cannot be harmless and non-violent. This is very significant. I'm going to read this again. But before learning these principles of non-violence, one has to learn two other principles, namely to be humble and to be prideless. Unless one is humble and prideless, one cannot be harmless and non-violent. And after being non-violent, one has to learn tolerance and simplicity of living. One must offer respects to the great religious preachers and spiritual leaders and also train the senses for controlled action, learning to be unattached to family and home and enacting devotional service to the Lord, etc. At the ultimate stage, one has to accept the Lord and become his devotee. Otherwise, there is no religion. In the religious principle, there must be God in the center. Otherwise, simply moral instructions are merely sub-religious principles, generally known as upadharma or nearness to religious principles. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते चन्द्रमौली स्वामीति नामिने नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनेति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So we should not confuse the present day Lord Buddha with the Buddha who is being described here, because in the olden days the demons were also very powerful, especially the demon called Maya Danav. And actually he was saved from the forest fire by Arjuna, and he had this gift. He was a great craftsman. He could create palaces that were invisible, airplanes that were invisible, and therefore the demons, taking advantage of his skills, he made these beautiful airplanes which were invisible, and the demons created havoc everywhere. Of course, Lord Shiva later on defeated him, and that's how the demons were vanquished. But once what happened, there was a great forest fire in the Khandav forest, and Maya Danava was getting caught in that fire. So he appealed to Arjun, and Arjun saved him from the forest fire. In gratitude to Arjun, Maya Danava built that beautiful palace, which was so mesmerizing that Duryodhan thought that the glass was water, and he thought the water was glass because it looked so enchanting and so mesmerizing. So they entered this beautiful palace at Indraprastha, which was simply gorgeous. And Duryodhan, thinking that, he's stepping into a body of water, lifted his dhoti, when actually it was plain glass, but it was so, shining and effulgent. The glass itself was reflecting so much. He thought it was water. And then Draupadi was a little amused. Then thinking, oh, everything it is glass. The next thing he stepped into was water. Now seeing this, Draupadi couldn't control her laughter, and she taunted him. Blind father, blind son. So Duryodhan was very angry at this. And all the other ladies also started giggling and laughing. Yudhishthira tried to stop them, but Krishna incited them. Yeah, laugh. Because he wanted the Kurukshetra war to happen. He wanted Duryodhan to get more and more jealous and angry. So he incited them to laughter. So Maya, basically what I want to say was Maya Danav's craftsmanship was so mesmerizing and so powerful that he prepared 3 invisible residences and gave them to the demons. These dwellings, I'm reading out from here. This is Canto 7, Chapter 10. Maybe I can screen share so that you know how powerful was this. Okay. Can we go to Canto 10, Canto 7, Chapter 10, verses 54 to 55, my dear Srimati? Canto 7, Chapter 10, verses 54 to 55. It's about Maya Danav, how powerful he was, and the invisible residences he constructed. Yeah, there we go. 54, 55. Okay. Maya Danava, which one are you on? No. 10. Chapter 10, I said. Canto 7, Chapter 10, verses 54 to 55. 10. Yeah, that's the one. 54 and 55. Going to the trial. Yeah, there we go. Maidanav, the great leader of the demons, prepared 3 invisible residences and gave them to the demons. These dwellings resembled airplanes made of gold, silver, and iron, and they contained uncommon paraphernalia. My dear King Yudhishthir, because of these 3 dwellings, the commanders of the demons remained invisible to the demigods. Taking advantage of this opportunity, the demons, remembering their former enmity, began to vanquish the 3 worlds, the upper, middle, and lower planetary system. Thank you. Let's go back to the main verse. So, remember, there is constant, relentless enmity between the Danavs and the Daityas, or the Asuras and the demigods, because the demigods want to use the property of the Lord to serve the Lord, while the demons want to usurp the property of the Lord to enjoy it themselves. So this is going on since time immemorial. So here the demons had become very powerful because of these invisible airplanes, and they were annihilating all the 3 worlds, driving the demigods out, and as usual, creating mayhem, chaos, turbulence, causing great distress to the innocent, to the pious, to the demigods, as well as the pious people of the 3 worlds. So then Buddha comes to teach them basic religious principles, very basic, and they're called sub-religious principles because they're not talking about God. It's like saying, please don't lie, please don't steal, please don't commit adultery, please do not covet another's property. So very, very basic sub-religious principles, you can say, because real religion means to love God. Real religion means to know God and love Him and worship Him and serve Him and admit one's complete helplessness. That means I am just a servant of Krishna and only Krishna is Krishna. But the demons don't want to do that. And so to convert them and bring them at least to the platform of simple ethics and morals, you can say, Buddha preached this message. So Buddha comes when there is severe violation, when animals are being killed, slaughtered, and there's so much violence in the world, then Lord Buddha incarnates. And here it is said that people are most materialistic, and therefore he comes to preach common sense religious principles. Ahimsa is not a religious principle in itself, but it is a stepping stone. See, unless people come to the platform of understanding that we should not kill animals, we should not abort babies, we should especially not harm mother cow, it is not possible to have peace in the world. It's not possible. Why? Because we are harming God's creatures. For Krishna, the ant is equal to a demigod. because every soul is a dear part and parcel of Krishna. Aham bija pita. I am the seed-giving father for all living entities. So for the father, all the children are equal. Srila Prabhupada gives this example. Supposing a man has 4 sons. One is brilliant, the second is highly capable, the third is, industrious, but the fourth is a dunce. Huh? Does the fourth son, does the father love the fourth son any less? He may not give him too much, responsibilities or expect too much from him, but he loves all the sons equally. If the elder son says, oh, this fellow is a dunce, he's no use, he's just eating and sleeping, he's doing nothing, let's kill him. Will the father agree? Of course not. He'll say, yes, he's a dunce, yes, he's a fool, yes, he cannot do very much, but still he is my child. I will protect him. As long as I'm alive, I will take care of him. That's what a father says. Similarly, for Lord Krishna, he cannot tolerate even an ant's being killed. This is described in Bhagavad Gita, chapter, let's see. I cannot remember it offhand, but in that particular purport, it is said, let me Google that for you. Lord Krishna cannot tolerate even an ant's being killed. Bhagavad Gita. Yes, we are on chapter 16. Can we go to chapter 16, verse number? Every living creature is the son of the Supreme Lord, and he cannot tolerate even an 14:16. This is very important to understand, because then only we will be able to convince others of the importance of non-violence towards all of God's creatures. Devotee is very soft-hearted. He doesn't like to see anyone being hurt. What to speak of being killed?
14:16 is this the one you are telling?
Yeah, I thought it's 14. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe it's 14:17.
Okay.
Every living creature is the son of the Supreme Lord, and he does not tolerate even an ant's being killed. One has to pay for it. So indulgence in animal killing for the taste of the tongue is the grossest kind of ignorance. Is it there in that?
No, not the same.
No, it's not in that one. Oh. Then maybe it's there in the 16th chapter. Maybe it's 16:14. Wait a minute. Maybe I saw it wrong. Hold on. Maybe I saw it wrong. Give me a minute. I turned it off. I'm getting there.
16, 13 to 15 are together, and it doesn't say that what.
It's the computer is a bit slow here.
About demonic person.
Yeah, it is 14:16 at least. Sorry, I'm saying the wrong thing. Instead of saying 16, I said 16:14. Did I?
Yeah, even
I'm
16
sorry. It
doesn't.
is 14:16 from this Google search. Can we look there?
This is about mode of goodness. 14:16 is mode of goodness.
Anyway, I'm not able to. Can you Google every living creature is the son of the Supreme Lord for me and find the verse, Srimati? Here we go. Here it is. That is the law of the state. Because of ignorance, people do not perceive that there is a complete state controlled by the Supreme Lord. Every living creature is a son of the Supreme Lord, and he does not tolerate even an ant's being killed. One has to pay for it. So indulgence in animal killing for the taste of the tongue is the grossest kind of ignorance. A human being has no need to kill animals because God has supplied so many nice things. If one indulges in meat eating anyway, it is to be understood that he is acting in ignorance and is making his future very dark. Of all kinds of animal killing, the killing of cows is most vicious because the cow gives us all kinds of pleasure by supplying milk. Cow slaughter is an act of the grossest type of ignorance. In the Vedic literature, the words Gobhi Pranitamatsaram indicate that one who, being fully satisfied by milk, is desirous of killing the cow is in the grossest ignorance. There is also a prayer in the Vedic literature that states, Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmanya Hitaya Cha, Jagaditaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha, which we say every day when we offer our bhog. We say these prayers, isn't it? My Lord, you are the well-wisher of the cows and the brahmanas, and you are the well-wisher of the entire human society and world. Vishnu Puran. The purport is that special mention is given that in that prayer for the protection of the cows and brahmanas. The brahmanas are the symbol of spiritual education, and the cows are the symbol of the most valuable food, milk. Prabhupada called it liquid religion. These two living creatures, the brahmanas and the cows, must be given all protection. That is real advancement of civilization. In modern human society, spiritual knowledge is neglected and cow killing is encouraged. It is to be understood then that human society is advancing in the wrong direction and is clearing the path to its own condemnation. A civilization which guides the citizens to become animals in their next life is certainly not a human civilization. The present human civilization is, of course, grossly misled by the modes of passion and ignorance. It is a very dangerous age, and all nations should take care to provide the easiest process, Krishna consciousness, to save humanity from the greatest danger. So, thank you. Imagine now, after I have come to this human form of life, I indulge in gross animal killing. I simply eat all kinds of things to satisfy the tongue. I don't care how many animals, birds, fish, deer, I go hunting in the forest, for sport. And what do? I kill bears, I kill deer, I kill other living creatures. And I say, oh, now I want to taste this particular meat because I've not tasted it before. That is such a sinful act. Of the four sinful activities, illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling, meat eating is the worst. It is the most sinful because it is taking away the life of another. And we have to pay the price for it. Even if we are ourselves non-violent, if we are surrounded by a population that is indulging in all these things, we also have to pay the price for it because every place has its geographical karma. The land on which we are living, the water we are drinking, all get infected by that particular place. It is well known that a place where tremendous bloodshed took place, wars took place, all kinds of killing happened, that place's geographical karma is very dark. No wonder the whole planet is in darkness because there is this gross animal systematized, absolutely bone-chilling slaughter going on in a very well-organized way by the food and meat industry. So therefore, in such a situation, Lord Buddha came to teach, at least don't kill, don't commit, this heinous act of killing innocent animals, just so that people would be pulled at least onto the path of non-violence. He called it the eightfold path of nirvana, one of which was non-violence. But as Srila Prabhupada correctly points out, these are sub-religious principles. Just telling people, don't tell lies, don't covet another's property, don't commit adultery. These are sub-religious principles which are a stepping stone to the real religious principle, which is to love God, which unfortunately many religions are not able to either give or understand or practice it themselves, because in Kali Yuga, even the religious principles are vitiated from other religions such as Christianity, Judaism, and Buddhism, and even the Islam religion, where even their scriptures, as far as I understand, the meat eating is under very regulated conditions. But no one cares for religious principles. They do exactly what they want. Hmm? So we have to become first humble and prideless, which means we must follow authority. When today's age, no one wants to follow any authority. They have no respect. They have no respect because religious and political leaders are letting them down. They themselves are indulging in so many wrong, sinful activities. So when they are caught, people lose faith, they lose trust, they lose respect, and they think, oh, this fellow was my imam or my bishop or my cardinal or the high priest. And look what he is. He's a common thief. He embezzled from the church funds. He stole money from the donation box. And guess what? He's committing adultery. He's doing all kinds of nonsense. How can I follow him? I'm not interested in following him. I'm not going to church anymore. This is too much. So people's faith is shattered when leaders fall down. Therefore, it is even more important for those who claim to be leaders to lead exemplary lives so that they can protect the people, guide them onto the path of religion, and teach them that the real purpose of life is to go back home, back to Godhead, by awakening our pure love for Krishna. The goal of life is self-realization. People have lost that and are getting caught in the materialism of more and more and more material things at any cost. At any cost. There's a heavy price to pay for such rampant materialism, naked greed, uninhibited consumerism, and we are paying the price for it. But there is great hope because Srila Prabhupada has come to teach us the path of devotional service, teach us to become human beings first from animal life, to give up all these sinful activities. Therefore, when you come to this Hare Krishna movement, the first thing you hear is, you are not this body. You're Krishna's eternal part and particle. Chant Hare Krishna and avoid the four sinful activities. This is the basic thing we tell everyone because we want them to get above the animal form and come to the human form of life. Only after we come to the human form of life, then we can claim to practice religious principles. But I can't say, I'm a religious person, I'm a spiritual person, and I do whatever I like. Now, before non-violence, we have to learn two other things. One has to be humble and prideless. For this, one must admit to a superior authority. One must admit to a higher power. Otherwise, we will think ourselves all in all. We will feel very arrogant. We will feel very proud. And therefore, we will commit violence to others. Srila Prabhupada defines non-violence. You want to go there? Let's go to 16th chapter, verse number 1. Let's go to the heading called non-violence. There Prabhupada says, if you claim to be non-violent, you have to spread Krishna consciousness. Because you are actually committing violence by not giving them people this knowledge. Very, very heavy, isn't it?
Which one?
So,
Non-violence?
yeah, let's go to the description of non-violence. There are so many qualities given there: charity, go, dhamma, self-control, keep going, tapas, austerity, ahimsa. Here we go. Stop right there. Ahimsa means not arresting the progressive life of any living entity. One should not think that the spirit spark is never killed. Even after killing of the body, there is no harm in killing animals for sense gratification. People are now addicted to killing animals in spite of having an ample supply of grains, fruits, and milk. There is no necessity for animal killing. This injunction is for everyone. When there is no alternative, one may kill an animal, but it should be offered in sacrifice. At any rate, when there is ample food supply for humanity, persons who are desiring to make advancement in spiritual realization should not commit violence to animals. Real ahimsa means not checking anyone's progressive life. The animals are also making progress in their evolutionary life by transmigrating from one category of animal life to another. If a particular animal is killed, then his progress is checked. If an animal is staying in a particular body for so many days or so many years and is untimely killed, then he has to come back again in that form of life to complete the remaining days in order to be promoted to another species of life. So their progress should not be checked simply to satisfy one's palate. That is called ahimsa. No, that is not the quote I'm looking for, though ahimsa is mentioned. Non-violence means give. Let's see if I can find that particular quote. I'm not able to get it off the top of my head, but there in that particular Bhagavad Gita purport, Srila Prabhupada explained non-violence actually means enlightening people in spiritual knowledge. Therefore, this Krishna consciousness movement is so much into distributing Prabhupada's books, so much into giving lectures, talks, preaching, convincing people, please, please take up the saintly way of life. Please do not spoil your life by indulging in these sinful activities, because that will bring you down. Your next birth is guaranteed to be animal, bird, fish, whatever you have killed, because there's a price to pay. There's a price to pay. We don't want people to commit spiritual suicide. Prabhupada said, please don't commit spiritual suicide. And go down, glide down into animal species of life. Once in a talk, Prabhupada said, you don't want to come back as a dog or a hog or something. And one man stood up and said, I will be happy to come back as a dog. This is how stupid people are. And Prabhupada said, okay, you have my blessings. Imagine that. People actually say that. Oh, I wish I could be a dog. I will be well fed. I will be taken care of. Barack Obama's wife, what's her name now? Michelle Obama. She says that the White House dog, it was called Bo, saying life is made for him. He gets everything he needs. He has got such a perfect life. He's got people to walk him around the gardens. He's well fed from time to time. His coat is brushed. He's taken for regular vet checks. So his life is made. Imagine thinking that the dog's life is an enviable life because he's getting everything. He's in a perfect setting. So this is the stupidity of today's so-called leaders, that they think a dog's life is a good life. And guess what, where they are headed if they love dog? Prabhupada said, if you do not love G-O-D, you will love D-O-G. So all these things that Prabhupada is explaining must be practiced in order to come to the human form of life, and then practice the religious principles, which is refraining from the four sinful activities and engaging in loving devotion to the Lord, so that one can make progress on the path back home, back to Godhead. One must offer respect to the great religious preachers and spiritual leaders, also train the senses for controlled action, learn to be unattached to family and home, enacting devotional service to the Lord. At the ultimate stage, one has to accept the Lord and become his devotee. I may say, oh, but I'm very attached to my home and family, and that's all right. Krishna is your home. Krishna is your relationships. That's what Grihastha Ashram is all about. Just yesterday evening, I did a talk on Grihastha Ashram, and I spoke about how we must see all our family members as part and parcels of Krishna and serve them accordingly. Then we are attached to them in a spiritual way, on the spiritual platform. And that is actually attachment to Krishna. It is not attachment on the basis of skin disease. So we gradually practicing Krishna consciousness, which begins with Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We actually begin the process of going back home, back to Godhead. Because Srila Prabhupada said, devotional service begins with the tongue. You simply vibrate Hare Krishna, take Krishna Prasadam. Slowly, slowly, you will get purified of all these unwanted things called anartha nivritti and come to the platform of goodness. Minimum, we must reach the point of goodness and then pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva, that is transcendence. And we will not be able to do that if we do not know who is God, do not serve God, and still claim to be practicing some form of religion, which is actually Upadharma, sub-religion. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. We can open up for questions, comments, discussions.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for explaining this verse very nicely. Thank you so much.
Thank you for tolerating me. I've had such difficulty today finding the verses. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
Usually I can find them pretty good, but today I was not doing so great.
Even I missed the purport. I thought it is mentioned in the translation. So yeah, it's fine. Dear devotees, any questions or comments? You can please go ahead now. Please turn on your cameras if possible. Yeah, Dheeraj Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, and thank you so much for the wonderful and enlightening class. Mataji,
Please
my
accept my
question
humble
was,
obeisances, Dheeraj Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our Gurudev. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Mataji, my question was we sometimes knowingly and unknowingly kill lower animals like ant, mosquitoes, spiders. So we right now we avoid, but somehow or the other we kill them. So how can we avoid? What should we
Simple
do?
reaction for that. Yeah,
Yeah,
Prabhupada says with every inhalation, so many microbes you are killing. Every time we are talking, so many microbes are being killed. Every time we are walking, by the pressure of our feet on small, small creatures we cannot even see, so many are being killed. Huh? How we can avoid these sinful reactions? Just by the process of living, we are killing so many living entities. Therefore, chant Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna. Because when we are engaging ourselves in serving the Lord, in worshipping the Lord, in chanting His holy names, Prabhupada gives this example, and Guru Maharaj quotes also. Supposing you're painting a wall, and somehow inadvertently, without seeing, you paint over a little tiny little creature you cannot even see, and it's killed. Still, you will not get sinful reaction because you are engaged in the service of the Lord. Hence, chanting Hare Krishna, engaging in devotional service to the Lord is our only protection. The materialists, simply by virtue of living, are getting so many sinful reactions because they're doing so many sinful things. And there is no antidote. There is no nullifying factor. So we don't want to go that route. We want to be very careful, chant Hare Krishna, engage in devotional service under the instructions of the spiritual master, make nice advancement, and go back home, back to Godhead. Fully awaken our love for Krishna. Actually, that is the goal. We may remain in the material world, spiritual world, it doesn't really matter. What is important is we should reawaken our pure love for Krishna. That is the whole purpose of religion. When Prabhupada was asked, what is religion? Prabhupada said, real religion means to know God and to love God. So see how much Prabhupada is saving us from so many sinful reactions and saving us from rebirth by giving us this process of Krishna consciousness.
Yes, Mataji.
The greatest benediction to humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Cheto Darpanamarjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Budivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to the Sri Hari Sankirtan movement, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years together and thus extinguishes the blazing fire of conditioned life and repeated birth and death. So, what a great benediction this is to humanity at large, because it's spreading the rays of the benediction moon. This Krishna consciousness movement is the greatest gift to humankind and to all creation. Because responsible human beings, devotees, will change the face of this planet. They're already doing wonderful, wonderful seva. That is why all the great disciples of Srila Prabhupada, by taking up the mission of Krishna consciousness so seriously, they're changing the face of this world, isn't it? His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu with his war against Maya in the form of book distribution, and of course being a spiritual leader, His Grace, His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, so many wonderful, Jayapataka Maharaj. There are so many wonderful, wonderful disciples who have taken up the mission of Krishna consciousness and are giving their life blood to save this world in its darkest hour. So can we not do something small for Prabhupada? Surely we can.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji. I have one more question. Can I ask?
You can ask Srimati.
Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Mataji, as you mentioned, Brahmanas, we have to save mother cow and Brahmanas. So how we can know who is Brahmanas? Brahmanas who are born in the family Brahmanas, because here in Calcutta now I'm seeing like people from the background, like their families are Brahmana, but their karma, like they are eating meat. Even in our friend groups, there are many of my friends who are born in Brahman family. If I see their karma, like they are doing all sorts of like they are eating beef, meat, everything. So how should we know that who to protect? So how should we distinguish like among that
Brahmana
who is
means
a
by
Brahmana?
qualification, it's not by birth. Lord Chaitanya says this, and Srila Prabhupada explained, it's not by birth, it is by your qualification. And what is a Brahmana? Yajan, Patan, Pachan, Dana, Pratigraha. He gives transcendental knowledge. He's a teacher. He lives by the principles of religion. He's an exemplary personality. He's very simple. He's self-controlled. He's peaceful. He's non-violent. So Brahmana is known by his qualifications. If a child is born in a Shudra family and exhibits the symptoms of a Brahmana, he is to be considered Brahmana. On the other hand, if I am born in Brahmin family, but I'm doing all kinds of nonsense, I'm not Brahmana. If I'm acting on the level of, say, Vaishya, I'm only interested in making money, and that's a gift, that's fine. But Vaishya uses that skill to make money for Krishna, and that's all right. But I can't claim to be Brahmana. My symptoms are those of a Vaishya, right? So we must understand what is the symptoms of a Brahmana before classifying. Let's go to 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where, or is it 17? Today my verses are not coming to my head. I'm so sorry. I had a very late night last night. Peacefulness, self-control, these are the qualities of a Brahmana. So, I don't know whether I'm looking at chapter, okay, 1842.
1842?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Let's go to 1842. See, we must exhibit the qualities of a Brahmana if we claim to be Brahmana. Brahmanas are the heads of society. They are highly intelligent and they are meant to lead society on the spiritual path. They are even advisors to the king. Remember, the Kshatriyas are the leaders who organize society properly. There we go. शमोदमस्तपशौचम् क्षान्तिरार्जवम् एव च ज्ञानं विज्ञानम् आस्तिक्यं ब्रह्मकर्म स्वभावजम्. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. So Prabhupada said, society is headless, disorganized, completely, lost. I have come to give society a head. And that is why Prabhupada trained all his disciples to have scriptural knowledge, to understand the Bhagavad Gita, gave all these literatures saying, now I'm giving you a head. The body can't survive without a head. Prabhupada came to save us. So he gave all this knowledge, trained the Brahmanas, but he also said we need Kshatriyas, we need Vaishyas, we need Shudras, because the body must be complete. So we have all this knowledge. Now we must organize society nicely. Daivi Varnashram is a must. Prabhupada said 50% of my work is unfinished. Who's going to do it? We're going to have to do it one by one, little by little, every generation adding to what Prabhupada has already done, so that we can have that wonderful Daivi Varnashram for the whole world. Then there will be peace and prosperity, because without society being organized along these lines, we cannot hope to have peace and prosperity. It's a myth. It's a myth. So right now, we have all this knowledge, but we also need, it's like having a head, but we need arms, we need chest, we need stomach, we need legs, we need the whole body. Therefore, training is very important. The spiritual master knows the nature of his disciple, and he trains and gives instructions accordingly. Hope that answers your question, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much for clarifying.
Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Missing my little god brother. Wish you could all be here. There's so much preaching to do. Huh? Everybody get your passports ready. There's so much to do in our Hare Krishna movement that it's not funny. We have to take it on an urgent footing that we must help people become Krishna conscious.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Trupti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, all Vaishnava devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you very
Please
much.
accept my humble obeisances, my dear God sister. I haven't forgotten you. It's just been pretty hectic. I think I will call you right after this class.
No problem. I understand. Yes. Thank you very much for very interesting class. And I just wanted to say my reflection on what the Dheeraj Prabhu said about Brahmanas and all this segregation and everything. And yes, I have mentioned this to Guru Maharaj class as well, that obviously I was born and brought up in a Brahmana family, and for all these my experience over the years, and then coming to London and seeing a lot of Brahman, born Brahmin over there back home and here as well. And then more than 50% of them, they are not practicing at all, whatever they've been born in that Brahmana family, doing everything opposite than what they should be doing. And when it comes to like looking for suitable partners for their children and all that, they said, oh, but we are Brahmanas, but they don't have any qualities of being called Brahmanas, but they expect, oh, they want the same in return. But there are lots of devotees and lots of my acquaintances I know, they're not Brahmanas, but they have more qualifications as Brahmanas. So what this caste system back started from India, I think it still exists. But as you said, that being in Krishna consciousness and preaching everybody and sharing our experience, and we have to let everybody know the differences of through the Shastra and through the our Srila Prabhupada's teachings and Guru Maharaj's teaching, and everybody, all of you senior devotees, what you're preaching, and they must know and they must see the difference, because there's so much still ignorance everywhere. So that is all I wanted to say.
Yes, Trupti, and let me come to this very important point. A Vaishnava is higher than a Brahmana.
Yeah.
A Vaishnava is the highest, because he has come to the real point of complete knowledge that I am nothing but a servant of Vishnu. I am devoted to Vishnu. I am going to engage in the service of Lord Krishna, like this. So Vaishnava, any caste, any background, any country, that is why Prabhupada said all these foreigners, these boys and girls, they have taken to Vaishnavism. They are higher than Brahmana. Higher than Vaishnava is highest of all, because he has come to the point of real knowledge. I am nothing but a servant of Krishna. I will serve Krishna. So in one fell swoop, Srila Prabhupada demolished all this nonsense casteism and elevated everyone to the position of Vaishnava by giving them the chance to engage in the devotional service of the Lord, which is such a rare, matchless gift. This caste system is such a rigid hold that even the lower caste could not worship in the temples, could not enter temples, some of them even though born in India. What to speak of foreigners? Foreigners, forget it, they cannot even enter the temple like this. All these things were going on. So Prabhupada came to demolish all this and say that anyone can attain the highest perfection of life. This is how powerful this process is. Anyone can become a pure devotee of the Lord. Anyone can become a pure lover of Krishna. It doesn't matter. You may come from a Mlecha background, Yavana background, Kirata, Hunindra, Pulakai. You know, what is that? Let me take you to that one. By the mercy of a bona fide spiritual master, even the dog-eater Chandal, Kirata, even born in a lowest of low families, can be elevated to the highest of the highest. 2:4:18. Srimati, please open up Canto 2, Chapter 4, verse number 18, where the description is there that even the Mlechas and Yavanas are considered the lowest of the low. Dog eaters, chandals, untouchables, all of them can come to the point of pure Vaishnavism by the mercy of the pure devotee of the Lord. There we go. Kirata Hunandra Pulinda Pulkasha Abhira Shumba Yavana Khasadayaha Ye Niecha Papa Yad Apa Shreya Shuddhyanti Tasmai Prabhavishnave Namaha. Kirata, Huna, Andhra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abhira, Shumba, Yavana, members of the Khasa races, and even others addicted to sinful acts can be purified by taking shelter of the devotees of the Lord due to his being the supreme power. I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto him. See how powerful is Vaishnavism.
Yes.
Anyone can become a pure devotee of the Lord.
since I joined Krishna consciousness and I'm learning and listening, I have even, especially in my family, I've started telling them that we, when there is any discussion about Brahmanas, and I always tell them this. And now my mother, 85-year-old, bless her, she come to understand as well. Before she was arguing about the higher caste and we are the highest and we are the Brahmina and this and that. Now she come to understand the actual meaning of who is Brahman, what are the quality of the Brahmana, and who are the Vaishnavas. So yeah, so and that thanks all to the teachings of all these classes that we listen to Guru Maharaj and all the senior devotees. Thank you very much. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
very nice point you brought out, Trupti. We must understand the value, this matchless gift that Srila Prabhupada has given us. And therefore, Prabhupada says, Vaishnav is Vaishnav. Hmm? He may come from Siberia, he may come from Timbuktu, he may come from Greenwich, he may come from anywhere, he or she. But because he has taken up this process of Vaishnavism, he's the most perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you,
O he Vaishnava Thakura, Dayara Sagara, Edase Karuna Kori. Such a beautiful bhajan, isn't it? Oh, Vaishnav Thakur, you are an ocean of mercy. Every day we offer our prayers to the Vaishnav. Shrimati, let's go to the translation of Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patita Nam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. A Vaishnav can deliver the whole world. A Vaishnav is a wish-fulfilling tree. He is an ocean of compassion and mercy. This is the position of Vaishnav. He is very dear to the Lord. Very dear. Krishna says, the devotees are dearer to me than my own life. That's the power of Vaishnav. Therefore, we must have great regard, respect for the Vaishnavas, and we must understand how dear they are to Lord Krishna and treat them with great honor, respect, reverence, saying, you are Vaishnav Thakur.
I offer my
There you go. I
Also-
offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnav devotees of the Lord. They are just like desire trees who can fulfill the desires of everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen, conditioned souls. This is a Vaishnav. His heart is very soft. His or her heart is very soft. He cannot bear to see the conditioned souls suffering, and therefore they take great pains to somehow or the other bring them to the path of knowledge, understanding by saying, you're not this body, your spirit soul. Wake up to who you really are. Become joyful, become happy, become free, become full of knowledge. Come to worship Krishna, he is most wonderful. Like this.
Thank you, Mataji. Dear devotees, any more questions or comments? Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I'll just want to, before closing, I'll just want to announce tomorrow's class.
It would be nice to see everyone on the call. Everyone is hiding behind the cameras. I'm sure you have a lot to say from wherever you are, how Vaishnav philosophy changed your life, how receiving mercy of Prabhupada changed your life, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. Rishabh Prabhu, you want to comment on anything?
Yes, I'm the most fallen here. Please give me your mercy, all of you. Dear devotees, I need your mercy now more than ever, because I am in a new phase of my life. Maharaj is taking me out to the temple, and he is now. I'm gonna try to serve him like Sridevi is serving him. But of course, I cannot do this like her. But please, Mother, give me your blessing so I can try to be a staunch preacher like you.
You are a wonderful preacher, 100 times better than me. What are you talking? I have to learn from you. You are so surrendered to Gurudev. I'm still a rascal. So you have to teach me many things. I have many things to learn. I'm not, unaware of my faults. I'm quite aware of the many faults I have. But I'm very happy to hear that you're engaging in this great preaching mission. We will all pray for you, Rishabh Prabhu. You have a very sincere heart. You genuinely want to give Krishna consciousness to others. And Guru Maharaj is seeing that, empowering you. I'm very sure that in the years to come, you will be a very convincing preacher.
I know one thing I would like to share, if I can, because I was just with Maharaj now. And it's such amazing to be in his association. It's such easy to think of Krishna. It's like it's hard to forget Krishna, actually. Like, and one thing that he actually told me that all these years he was kind of a, these pills we were drinking, Sridevi. So these pills for me, they were pills of misunderstanding of Krishna consciousnesses. And he said, like, he's really nice to me now, really nice. I think heard even the Janakinath was having the same treatment. Of course, I'm not on the level of his shadow, but the Janakinath was also like being, swallowing pills for quite a few years with Maharaj, and then Maharaj just stopped. And he explained me that he was doing this until we understand what our position is. And that our position is not to try to enjoy Krishna consciousness. Oh, look, I'm with Gurudev, I'm eating all the sweets. Because even some devotees told me when you're next to Maharaj, you get all the fame, opulence, and everything, kind of also touches you. But I mean, all in all, he was just trying to teach me what he's doing, and he's like constantly, intensely serving. He's in constant serving meditation of how to serve, how to serve, how to serve. And just being with him, I'm just constantly running around serving him, and I feel so blissful.
Wonderful.
And now I have to...
Sometimes I feel, oh my gosh, how I wish I was in the male body. I could actually be with Gurudev, actually serve him nicely all the time. I could actually travel with him. So much purification would happen. How much advancement I would make. Like this, sometimes even I feel. So you're so blessed, Rishabh Prabhu. So fortunate, so lucky to constantly be in Guru Maharaj's association, to learn from him, to purify yourself, to advance nicely. How blessed you are. Wonderful.
I couldn't manage without senior devotees, because when I had crisis, because of my misconception of what's happening, I took shelter of senior devotees here in Croatia, and they helped me to put things in line, just that my mind not stops criticizing Guru Maharaj. I was like, oh my God, some periods of my service, I was hating him. Can you imagine you're hating your spiritual master? And then you're like, no, you're not going to hate your spiritual master. Shut up. Go and serve him. And then everything was fine after that. But it's like, wow, that's crazy things getting out of your heart. It's like, I cannot imagine many people trying to serve their spiritual master and just ending up hating him, criticizing him. Not because there is anything to actually have a justice for that, but because you have to be ready to understand your misconceptions, your anarthas, which are actually starting to defend themselves. And it's like, wow, that's like crazy ride.
Yeah, my goodness. I'm so thankful that the seniors pulled you out of that phase, because that would have finished your spiritual life. Oh my goodness.
That's why really, it's like with spiritual master, you can really elevate yourself or you can degrade yourself. And many times I was feeling like, a dog being beaten, and not understanding what I'm doing. But with some reason I didn't quit, and for some reason I'm still alive. And one thing that I heard, maybe Sridevi, you maybe can comment on it, that they said that some devotees need Vapu service so they can actually follow Vani nicely. I think that at least most people need this experience of serving personally spiritual master, because just this excitement of trying to please him, to at least now I have to now intensify my desire to serve him again, but not physical body, but now the Vani.
Yes, Vani is more important than Vapu because that's our eternal connection. We
Yes.
may or may not be able to serve Guru Maharaj personally, but we always must be ready to serve his Vani, which is the instructions, the orders of the spiritual master, which are our life and soul. So we must always be in the consciousness that Gurudev has come to save me from this material world. But for him, who is my well-wisher? No one can free us from the entanglement of the material energy except one who is free. And in his mercy, he has come to unshackle me, free me from all this materialistic entanglements I am in. And so the glories of the spiritual master are unbelievable. Meditate on this prayer, O Hey Vaishnav Thakur, every day. And that will always keep you in the right perspective. Shrimati, let's go to translation of O Hey Vaishnav Thakur. कृष्ण से तुम्हारा कृष्ण दीते पारो তোমারা শকতি আছে আমি তো কঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি আমি তো কঙ্গাল কৃষ্ণ কৃষ্ণ বলি ধাইতামা পাছে পাছে I am just a wretch running behind you, calling out to you, oh, give me Krishna, because you have Krishna, Vaishnav Thakur. O Venerable Vaishnav, devotee of Krishna, O ocean of mercy, please be merciful unto your servant. Give me the shade of your lotus feet and purify me. I hold on to your lotus feet. Teach me to control my 6 passions, rectify my 6 faults, bestow upon me the 6 qualities, and offer unto me the 6 kinds of holy association. I do not find the strength to carry on alone the Sankirtan of the holy name. Please bless me by giving me just one drop of faith with which to obtain the great treasure of the holy name of Krishna. Ekaki amara nahi paya bala Harinam Sankirtane Tumi kripa kori Shraddha bindu diya Deho Krishna nama dhani O he Vaishnava Thakura Dayara Sagara Edase Karuna Kori Edase Karuna Kori. Krishna is yours. You have the power to give him to me. I am simply your servant wretch running behind you shouting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. You must constantly be in this mood. Oh Gurudev, oh Vaishnav Thakur, I'm just a dog. I'm your dog. Please help me. Please save me. Please lift me up from this horrible ocean of birth and death and place me as one of the atoms of dust at your lotus feet. For you are the dear servitor of God himself. You are nothing but the mercy manifestation of Krishna himself, come to save me from the clutches of this material world.
Please do everything what you can, devotees, to satisfy Guru. Everything will come from that. Please.
Very nice.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for sharing that. And we wish all the best for your preaching services, and hope you will please Guru Maharaj very much. We'll pray for you. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you. Yes, I echo Srimati's words. So if there are no more questions, Srimati, should we chant for a little time and then end the call, or end the call straight away?
Yeah, I can make you host because I have to go. Today is a little tight for me. But quickly, I just want to announce tomorrow's class before starting chanting. So from tomorrow, Maharaj Guru Maharaj will be in the US, and that he wants the time to be 1 p.m. UK time for the class, which is 8 a.m. Eastern and 5:30 p.m. India time. So I request devotees to please join accordingly. I'll share the link for tomorrow, that is Harrisburg class tomorrow. And the verses are Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 5th chapter, verses 59 to 61. 559, 61. And time will be 1 p.m. UK time, 8 a.m. Eastern, and 5:30 p.m. IST.
So
Thank you.
Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 5th chapter, verse number?
59 to 61.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
So much, Mataji, once again for such a wonderful class and a nice discussion. Thank you, Rishabh Prabhu, for sharing such valuable points. You boldly opened your heart and shared with us. That's very eye-opener for me also. Thank you so much. Okay, sure. Okay, Mataji, I'll make you host, Mataji. Will you be able to share the screen and